Hello everyone, I'm Francesca. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is a really exciting video because it's my 7-year vegan anniversary and we're doing a reflection video to talk about all things vegan, my journey, and answer some questions that you guys sent in. So I want to first start this off by saying hi. If you don't know me, if this is for some reason the first video you're ever coming across of mine, I'm a vegan food blogger. I run Plantifully Based. I've been a vegan for 7 years. From today, I started my blog at the same time and it grew into my job and what I do now. So if this is the first video you're ever seeing of mine, thanks for tuning in. Normally we are cooking in the kitchen together, but today we're chatting, we're talking. So first of all, 7 years is wow. Just wow. Like, I want you to think about something that you have done for 7 years of your life. You know, it's a long time. I'm 30, so let's estimate and say it's about a little less than a third of my life that I have been vegan. I went vegan at 23 and I love it. It has changed my life immensely. It has made my life so much better. It changed my career path. There's so many things to get into. So I'm really excited. And before I go any further, I want to say thank you because I would not be here without you guys. So thank you for watching me. Thank you for supporting me over the years. Thank you for making it possible for me to, share my recipes, share what I love, share my food photography, have a cookbook, all the amazing things that have happened because of being a vegan wouldn't have happened without you all. So I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's backtrack to January of 2016. I, like many other people, were like, I want to get healthier for the new year. I want to lose a few pounds, blah, blah, blah. So I decided first that I wanted to just cut out some dairy because I loved dairy. I would eat cheese like 5 times a day. I'm not even kidding, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack plus. So I cut out the dairy, and I also loved ice cream as well. Those were like my top 2 things. I wasn't like crazy about milk. Like I wasn't one of those people who grew up like drinking a glass of milk with dinner and stuff like that. But I just loved ice cream and cheese. So I was like, okay, just cut that out because I think that will make a big difference because I was just trying to lose weight. I wasn't trying to go vegan. I just wanted to get a little healthier and lose a few pounds. And then I was like, okay, this feels like pretty good. And so then it was like around February, Lent was starting. So you don't eat meat on Fridays during Lent. So I was like, okay, so I'm not eating meat and I'm not having cheese. And I was not like a big fish eater. I wasn't eating fish because I didn't really like fish. So I was like, all right, I'm basically kind of like already eating vegan on those days anyway. What if I just cut out my eggs in the morning that I have and like swap it for oatmeal? Okay, cool, I'll try it. So I tried it for like a day and I was like, wow, I really like how I felt. And it was like really fun for me. I was like, okay, like what can I make? Like I'm gonna make like chickpea salad and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Like it was like fun. I was having fun with it. And at the time I was living with my roommate, Rachel, who is a vegetarian. So that also like had some help on impacting me because I was trying out more like vegan and vegetarian places because of Rachel and just kind of like more open to it than I had ever been before. So I was like, maybe I like how this feels, so like maybe I'll expand it into a few more days. And so I did. And so then it was like going like 3 or 4 days a week of not eating any animal products, right? And I really, really, really liked it. I liked how I felt. I liked I enjoyed it. There was like a big revelation moment in this time period. And this time period is like January of 2016 to April of 2016, like early April. So during this time, this is probably like end of March, I want to say, I had chicken in the freezer to cook. And I took the chicken out and I'm like getting ready to cook it. And I'm looking at this packet of chicken. And I'm never going to forget this moment because it's just so vivid. I'm looking at this packet of chicken and I feel nauseous. I feel like sick to my stomach. And I'm like, I don't want to eat this chicken. This was a chicken that was alive. And then I have the thought, this was probably multiple chickens that were alive. And my little pound of chicken that I bought, this is, lives here. This is an animal. And I freaked. Like, I was like, I can't eat this. What am I supposed to do? And then I felt guilty because I didn't want to waste it because I'd already bought it. And that was like a very big moment in my mind that like clicked. Like, I was like, okay. And I remember I ran into Rachel's room and I was like, Rach, I don't know what to do. I can't eat this. Like I feel too bad to eat it and I don't want to go to waste and I don't know what to do. And I was so upset. And I was like, is this how you feel? Like, is this what you feel about meat? Because like, I didn't really have anybody else to ask. And she was like, yes. And I was like, okay. So I was like, something has clicked in my mind. And I was like, I tried to like power through eating this chicken. I don't even remember what I did with it. I feel like I made it and I like kind of like gagged while eating it, whatever. So that was like a very big revelation moment. And I think that's like a very big moment that something had changed in my mind from just eating vegan a few days a week. I wasn't fully vegan. This was, like I said, end of March. So at that time I was in grad school, in case you don't know, trained opera singer. That's what my degrees are in. And you have to have like a big graduate recital before you graduate with your master's. And it was my graduate recital on April 10th. It was Sunday, and we had like a dinner after, and it was my last non-vegan dinner. It was a great way to celebrate the end of one era and kind of sort of welcome in a new one, which is weird to say now because I didn't know this was happening at the time. Yeah, so I woke up the next day and I was like, on April 11th, I am going to try to go vegan for 30 days. Like, stick with it, no breaks, no shortcuts, no nothing. And my parents were like a little, like, they were like, are you sure? Like, this is a lot. And I was like, no, like, I want to do this. I feel really good when I eat vegan and I really like it. And so I tried the 30 days. That was when I first made my Instagram account as well. It was called 30 Vegan Days back then. And I did the 30 days and I stuck with it, and I've been with it ever since. So that's the very as abbreviated possible version of that story as could be. What happened during those 30 days, I think, is what really solidified my mindset and that I wanted to be vegan. I watched more documentaries. Like, I watched it wasn't What the Hell, sorry. It was Forks Over Knives and Cowspiracy. I just sort of like did some more research and really learned. At the time I was really watching like Lauren Toyota and Heart for Food. That was like when she was just coming in on the scene, and I just thought it was the coolest stuff that she was making. I was like, she's making cheese from potatoes, and like, this is so awesome. So I made my little Instagram account that you guys now know as Plantifully Based, back then 30 Vegan Days, and I just wanted it as a food diary. I wanted a place to post what I was eating, and not like have my friends know, not have my family know. Like, I just wanted to post my food. And it was really crazy because after a little while I started to gain some followers, and I was like, this is so cool. Like, why are people following me? Like, and I'll never forget the first time somebody made one of my recipes. It was like these coconut pancakes that I had made. And I was like, wow, this is really cool, because now I'm helping other people like start to go vegan and do vegan stuff. And I really like that. And that was actually really how Plantifully Based was born. Like, it just was very accidental. It was very small. And I was like, okay, well, I've always thought social media was cool. And I feel like I want this to like be my job, because also something that like plays into this, as I was graduating grad school, I was very young. I was only 23, which like some of the people I was going to school with were like 30 plus, like my age now. And vocally, like, I just couldn't compete with them. So I would have had to either like take a few years to wait for my voice to mature a little bit, or, you know, whatever I would have done. And so ultimately that's what I'm saying. Like, it was like the end of an era, with like the graduate recital being the last non-vegan meal, and then kind of leaving singing and becoming a vegan food blogger. I truly love being a vegan. Like, I know that probably sounds really cheesy to say, but it makes me really happy. I like this lifestyle. This is what works really well for me. There are some things that I think that get thrown out a lot about veganism. You know, when you look at vegan videos on YouTube, you'll find a lot of like ex-vegan stories. And I'm not gonna lie, like, when I hit the 5-6 year mark, that's when a lot of people usually stop being vegan because of like health problems and stuff. And I got so scared. I was like, oh my gosh, like, is this gonna happen to me? Like, am I not gonna be able to be vegan? But I think one of the reasons that I have been able to sustain my veganism is, well, a few things. One, I eat like a lot of different things. I don't eat high carb, I don't eat low fat. I focus primarily on eating all of the macronutrients, primarily focusing more on high protein because I like to work out a lot, and that's like a whole different story that's aside from the veganism. But I go to my doctors regularly, I get checkups, I get my blood tests done. I'm not saying that those people weren't, but just so I know what's going on within my own body. I always take my vitamins, and I think because I just maintain a very well-balanced diet, it's been very successful for me. But in all fairness, I was really nervous because I was like, oh my goodness, I'm getting close to that time, and a lot of people seem to experience health problems. But for me, it's been nothing but great. Now, that being said, I think veganism is sold as a cure-all online, which I would love to just, I should have done this sooner, but let's just define veganism for a second. So there's a lot of terms now, okay? Vegan, plant-based, whole food plant-based, ethical vegan, you know, whatever. There's a lot of terms out there. I think of vegan as this way, and I think most people, this is what they think of vegan as. Somebody who does not eat or use animal products and animal byproducts. So when you have dinner, there's no meat, there's no fish, there's no eggs, there's no honey, there's no dairy, right? But then it extends even further that you don't use leather, you don't use fur, you make sure that your makeup is not tested on animals and is vegan, your hair products, etc., right? Like it goes more than just the plate. And I do think for some reason, somewhere along the way, veganism and eating whole food plant-based got caught up in each other. And there's a lot of people who think that eating whole food plant-based is what being vegan is. While eating whole food plant-based is great, if that's what works for you and your body, that's not really what being vegan is. Vegan has to do with the least possible exploitation of animals. Whole food plant-based lines up with that because that means like eating a lot of vegan food. But also vegans can eat the Beyond Burger and have vegan cheese and have, I guess, I don't want to call it vegan junk food, but you know what I mean? Like, I guess vegan processed foods, while somebody who's whole food plant-based would not do that. I just wanted to like clear that up because it always seems to be like people all get comments. People are like, why are you using oil? Why are you using flour? Why are you using salt? Because you can, because those are fine. Those are fine for eating vegan. If you're eating whole food plant-based and you're following a strict diet like that, then that's a different situation. So I just want to throw that out there, that vegans can have anything that just an animal was not exploited and hurt for. Okay, so back to what I was saying, that vegan is kind of marketed as this cure-all because I think a lot of people do see the benefits of being vegan within their health, but that doesn't necessarily always happen. I'll speak to my experience that before I went vegan, I ate a pretty well-rounded diet. I always liked fruits. I always liked veggies. We're Italian. We would eat a lot of lentils and chickpeas, as well, of course, as meat and cheese and everything like that. But we ate a lot of veggies. I grew up there was always a veggie on the plate. I love fruit. So when I went vegan, it wasn't like, yes, I cut out certain things, but it wasn't like, oh my goodness, I went from eating kind of a standard American diet that was filled with like less fiber and less veggies and less fruit to eating this super fiber-filled diet and nutrient-dense diet that I wasn't getting before. I do think that for some people who do eat that way beforehand, that have less fiber, have less nutrient-dense food and whatever, when they go vegan, they do feel a lot better because they did cut out a lot of things. So it just really depends on the person's situation before and after. For me, the biggest things that I've noticed a difference in, and I mean, obviously it's been so long at this point. It's so funny when people ask me like, do you feel so much better being vegan? And I'm like, well, now it's been 7 years. Like, this is just how I feel. Like, I don't always entirely remember like, well, what did I feel like before? But what I will say is I do think that it helped with my digestive system somewhat. I was somebody who grew up having like a lot of stomach aches. I always would get really bad gas pains, like very intense. And if you've ever had a gas pain, you know it literally feels like you're dying. So, you know, things like that. So I feel like being vegan definitely helped some of my stomach issues and things like that. Like, I don't really get stomach aches anymore. You know, I used to wake up and I would kind of feel nauseous and not feel great, not be very hungry in the morning. So I feel like being vegan helped with that. Another big thing that like I know that I was told was like, you're gonna go vegan and you're gonna lose a ton of weight. Now, I don't want to get too into weight loss in this video because I have a whole other weight loss video on this channel, and I'm actually starting a second channel, which I guess I'll tell you guys about in case you don't know. I'm starting a second channel, or well, I've started a second channel. I'm not sure when I upload this video what's going to be going on. That will be geared towards what I've done for weight loss and high protein eating and things like that. So I don't want to get too into it, but to the long story short, no, I didn't lose weight when I went vegan. Like, maybe initially I did lose like a few pounds, but like, it's not like, oh, I went vegan and I just, oh my goodness, you just dropped the 50 pounds you've been wanting to lose. I lost weight when I went into a calorie deficit. So I gained weight as a vegan and I lost weight as a vegan. And again, I talk about that more in that weight loss video if you want to check it out. But, you know, so I didn't lose a ton of weight. My skin, I think, did get better. But again, I have like not the best skin always. Like, I have a lot of hormonal acne still, even as a 30-year-old. So it's just like it got better, but did I have this clear, crystal glowing skin? No. And I'm saying this to be practical because I don't like that veganism is sold, like I said, as a cure-all. Did my health overall, like in terms of blood work and things like that, improve? Yes. But that also improved when I also made some lifestyle choices and like different things too that like led that to there, if that makes sense. I think there are things that veganism can help with, and I think there's things it can't help with. I do have asthma and allergies. At first I feel like it helped a lot, and now as I've kind of been vegan longer, I don't know, some allergy seasons are really bad. Sometimes my asthma is really bad. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I can, you know, not have any need for my inhaler, and sometimes I need my inhaler. Like, I can't say for certain like, oh yes, like being vegan made my asthma disappear, and I don't think that's like even a safe claim to make, but I feel like sometimes it helped and sometimes it didn't. So one thing I will say, I think being vegan has helped immensely with my energy levels. I definitely feel very energized. I work out 5-6 times a week. I love to be moving, I love to be going, but again, also like just having a routine, making sure I'm getting like 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, right? Like there's other things I also prioritize. So I'm just saying that to be fair, because I don't like that it's sold as a cure-all. Being vegan is just about not exploiting animals. That's what it's about. And that's what I, want it to remain true to. I do my best to share my life, my recipes, and hope that as people watch it, they're inspired to go vegan and try vegan stuff because they're seeing that I'm eating yummy food, because there's still always the misconception that vegans are sitting here eating grass and disgusting food. There's a lot to veganism that I owe. It changed my life in so many ways. I'm really grateful for it. I'm so grateful for this job. I enjoy it. It's what works for me. And I just can't believe it's been 7 years. I want to answer some questions that I had you guys send in. Before we do that though, I want to do something fun. And have you guys ever done the vegan calculator where it tells you how many animals you've saved and stuff? Hold on 1 second, please. Okay, so I've been vegan for 7 years. That is crazy. Just saying that out loud, it's wild. Okay, you ready for these numbers? Okay, so being vegan for 7 years, I have saved 2.8 million gallons of water. There's a few more numbers in there, but we'll just say 2.8 million. 102,000 pounds of grain, 51,000 pounds of CO2, 76,000 square feet of forest, and 2,555 animals' lives. So I don't know, it's just a really good feeling. It makes me really happy, and just for me, because I've just made that connection in my head that there's just they're animals who don't want to die. So for me, I can't eat them. So yeah, I don't know. I don't get too heavy usually on this channel, I guess, about the ethical side of being a vegan. I try to keep it more so light, but it is the reality of the situation. And for me, like, I love animals, and I don't want to think about them having to die. Let's get into some questions. Okay, let's see. So somebody said, well, and we've kind of already gone over this, but I'm just going to answer. Were you vegetarian before going vegan? If so, for how long, and what pushed you to go from vegetarian to vegan? So obviously I told you guys the whole story in the beginning. No, I was not a vegetarian. That is a path that some people take, and some people do just kind of stop at being a vegetarian. So everyone's paths are different, but no, it was just a slow, gradual process, which I feel like is also why it stuck, because I do things slowly, everything slowly, and then it sticks better. Okay. Do you notice a difference with your menstrual cycles and the pain/bloating that comes along with each time after going vegan? So for me personally, my hormones are kind of a mess. I had very bad periods, and I had to work very closely with my gynecologist to figure out a plan. I don't think being vegan had any effect on the severity of my periods. Maybe for some people it would, but for me it came down to that, like, I needed to figure it out with my doctor. Okay, next question. How has it affected your social life among non-vegans? This is really interesting, and actually I was out to dinner with my friend Lauren and we were talking about this. So I'm very lucky, I guess, because I do get a lot of questions from you guys like, hey, I have a family who's not supportive. My friends aren't supportive. I don't have anybody in my life who doesn't support me, okay? And when I went vegan, nobody really cared. I have a few friends who are lactose intolerant, so they were happy to like go try vegan restaurants with me and do stuff like that. And nobody cares in my life, and everybody is like pretty open to it. So it's not a big deal. However, I do feel really bad for people who are like getting their like just ridiculous things from their family members or from their friends, and like just kind of telling them like they don't support them. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's a little extreme. It just feels like a lot for somebody who's deciding to just like not eat animals. So I don't know. I mean, I'm very lucky that it hasn't really affected my life in any way, shape, or form. But I'm also the kind of person that like, if somebody is like fully just like not supportive of me, why would I want them around in my life, kind of thing too? Like, I don't know, if I had a friend who was super mean about it or something, probably wouldn't be friends with them anymore. Like, why would I keep that energy in my circle, you know? Okay, this next question is interesting. How easy is it to be vegan when you travel, especially in the start? So for me, I haven't like traveled that much as a vegan, if I'm being quite honest. I think there's always a sacrifice that has to be made, that you may be going to somewhere, maybe for the beautiful water, or maybe for the hikes, or, you know, whatever it may be, right? And like, the food isn't top notch and you're kind of just eating pasta and oatmeal and just kind of surviving for that week, you know, to just like be where you want to be. Obviously, there's great resources online, tons of blogs. happycow.net is a great place to look. You can always research ahead of time. For me, there's been times when I've been really excited because like places had vegan stuff that I wasn't expecting, so that was really cool. There's other times where, yeah, I had pasta every single night and that was my choice of dinner, you know? So it just kind of varies, but I think like if you're planning your trip, maybe, and food is important to you, which like it's important to me, but sometimes it's like more important to like be in the location, right? Like research ahead of time what your options are going to be. And if you're going somewhere where there's like seriously like no options, then maybe like reconsider going there. Was going vegan a longer or shorter process for you? Longer, obviously we covered that in the beginning. What was the hardest part? Do you feel veganism has made you a better or more creative cook? So the hardest part of going vegan, I don't know. I feel like there wasn't a hard part, to be quite honest, because I did it so slowly. I think if I had done it very quickly, maybe I would have felt potentially deprived or gotten frustrated. But because I did it so gradually, I do feel I don't know. I didn't feel like there was a hard part. It just took patience and time and being patient with myself and knowing that I was going to make mistakes, because you will make mistakes, you will mess up. We don't live in a vegan world. Accidents happen. It is what it is. And then the next part of that question was, do you feel veganism has made you a better or more creative cook? And 125%. So first of all, before I went vegan, I never had tofu. I never had seitan. I've never had tempeh. I'm trying to think of like things that I had just never had. There's vegetables that being vegan has opened me up to, like, you know, things like that. So yes, I can see ingredients in a totally different light now. And like, they're not just like one thing. And you know, I think of all these years that I missed out on eating tofu and how much I love it now. Like, it's just crazy. And it really, I don't know. I don't want to say it amazes me because that sounds like so cocky, but like that I was like, okay, I'm going to take cauliflower and I'm going to turn that into cheese. I'm going to take red lentils and I'm going to turn that into cheese, because you have to think about what these ingredients could maybe look like blended up, what they can taste like, what their texture is, how we could use it in another way, shape, or form to do things with. Even like the tofu ricotta, which like is so funny. Every time I give somebody my vegan lasagna, I was gonna say my non-vegan lasagna, but my vegan lasagna, and they're a non-vegan, and they're like, what is the ricotta in here? Because it tastes like regular ricotta. And I'm like, it's tofu. Like, it's really crazy that you can reinvent all the ingredients to be something else and to act as a certain thing, and it works. So it's definitely made me more creative, and it's definitely made me like strive harder to figure out, what could I do? What could I do to make this more interesting? Or what could I do to really transform this ingredient? Okay, and next question, how do you feel about people who keep making fun of you for being a vegan at gatherings, if it still occurs? So it doesn't really happen anymore. When I first went vegan, my friends definitely like teased a little bit, I guess, like a playful tease, not like a berating, mean tease. You know, I would just kind of roll my eyes and laugh it off. And I think it just got to the point where they were like, oh, okay, like whatever, like we're not gonna like keep harping on it. I think if people are really being mean, then you remove yourself from that situation, you know, but you also have to be prepared. Be prepared for the joke, and be prepared to just take it lightly, you know, just let them say what they want to say and just keep on going, because people want the response, right? They want the response of being like, well, you know, and getting all worked up. But is like if you just laugh it off and you're like, yeah, you know, like always the great joke, what? Like, oh, you only eat grass as a vegan? Yeah, you know what? You want me to mow your lawn? Yeah. Like, you know, if you just make a joke out of it, it's just going to get blown over. If it's not, then you need to either reevaluate those friendships or just remove yourself from the conversation. Next question, how you got started and what products you should splurge on. So we did cover the how I got started in the beginning. What products you should splurge on? Okay, I'm going to preface this with saying you should splurge on whatever makes sense for you to splurge on for yourself. So for example, if you love steak, right, and you're going vegan and you're like, what am I going to have as a steak replacement? You should splurge on vegan steak then. Spend your money and try the vegan steak. See what comes out good. See what you like. Try vegan steak recipes, right? Like, spend your money on that. Don't spend your money on I don't know, vegan eggs. If you don't even eat eggs now, like why would you bother, right? Like spend it on what's important to you. What I'll tell you what I splurge on that I think is worth it in my opinion is a few things. One, speaking of eggs, the vegan just egg, I do love that. The prices come down, but then some people are saying the price is up where they live. So I don't know. By me right now, it's like $3.99 to $4.99, which is pretty good pricing. Vegan Ben & Jerry's ice cream, so good. But it will cost you, like, again, it varies, like $5.99, $6.99 a pint. Depends on where you live, depends on where you're shopping, just depends on sales, things like that. Something else I guess that I could say I splurge on is like vegan meats, like not too many, but like a field roast sausage or like pre-made seitan, things like that. Vegan cheeses, I do love the vegan cheese, like the vegan Miyoko's mozzarella, but like that's like I save that for like when I want to make a good pizza or I want a caprese or something like that, right? The Miyoko's vegan butter, I love the Kite Hill products. So those are all really, really good things that I would say are worth the splurge. But honestly, everybody's taste buds are so different, and you're not gonna like, just because I like it doesn't mean you're gonna like it, you know? Somebody said making from scratch ooey gooey lasagna and pizza worthy melting cheese. I did share responses on my story when I'm recording this video, but I will share my vegan mozzarella recipe down below. It's the cauliflower mozzarella. It's probably one of the most, well, it is the most popular YouTube video and one of my most popular recipes, and it's a really good one. Do you use protein powder at all? If so, which do you recommend? I do. I like the one from Dymatize, but again, protein powder is so personal. I've tried a few that I don't like, that other people seem to like, you know, like everyone goes for something different when it comes to protein powder, but Dymatize plant-based protein is my favorite. The vanilla and chocolate, both so good. And our last question, what are your favorite quick, easy protein sources? So definitely tofu, tempeh, seitan. I like chickpea pasta, lentils, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I eat. I mean, I eat a lot of stuff that's high in protein, but I'm just trying to think of anything else off the bat. Vegan Greek yogurt, which does exist. So yeah, I would say, but like tofu is my go-to. I eat tofu a lot. I love tofu. All right, so that was our last question. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my little vegan reflection. I like being vegan. I love being vegan. I'm happy being vegan. And I wanted to share it because, like I said, there are so many like ex-vegan stories out there and things. And I just want to share the positive side of somebody who's been vegan for quite some time and really enjoys this lifestyle. And, you know, I do my best to share that hopefully with you all. And okay, my poor little camera is yelling at me that it's overheating, so I'm just gonna wrap this up pretty quickly. But I love being vegan. I'm grateful for you all. I'm grateful for everything it has brought me. I cannot believe that it brought me my job, that it brought me everything it's brought me, being a cookbook author, doing what I love, being a food photographer, being a food videographer, making amazing recipes, and just being here with all of you. So thank you so much for the last 7 years, and here's to the next 7 years. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon with another recipe. Bye.